Second week in New Zealand. I'm in another beautiful place. And it's race week, I guess. Signed up for a 50K on Saturday. 50K Skyrun, so it's going to be up high in the mountains. I'm a little bit scared for it, to be honest, but that's also one of the reasons I'm doing it. So this week I'm not going to taper that much, just a little bit, but I see the race as a long training run and I do not want to waste my time tapering when I'm in New Zealand. I know that some of you who are watching probably don't know what tapering means. It basically means reducing volume before a race. So usually people hit peak volume 2 or 3 weeks before a race and then they start to slow down. I think tapering is a personal thing. I've tried multiple ways of tapering. Tapering a lot, not tapering that much. And I ran my best races without a significant taper, which is interesting, but somehow my body is just able to recover very quick, so I don't need a lot of time to recover. This is probably one of the best places I've ever been to for running. $27K on Tuesday morning, did 24K yesterday. So as you can see, I'm not really tapering that much. Even if I would taper, I wouldn't slow down that much because I know from experience that it's better for my body to keep the momentum going. I think tapering is just highly personal, and I've experienced that not tapering that much is better than tapering a lot. I've ran my best races without significant taper, so somehow my body is just able to recover very quick. And I'm thankful for that. Thursday morning, just did a half marathon around the lake, the same place that I was Tuesday. It wasn't really the plan this morning. I planned to go up a mountain somewhere, but when I arrived there the road was closed. Then I thought, okay, let's look for another track. And then I drove to that track, and then they were doing a road work exactly at that spot, so I couldn't access the parking lot for the track. So then I just thought, okay, maybe this is a sign that I should back off on the elevation training. So I guess I am tapering in the sense that I'm doing a lot less elevation in preparation for Saturday. Yeah, so it was just an easy half marathon around the lake. Not a bad alternative, and easier on the legs as well. Okay, it's Friday afternoon. Tomorrow is the 50K race, so I'm getting my gear ready. I'm going to the race briefing later in the afternoon. It's the first time for me going to a race briefing, but it's mandatory for people who do the race for the first time. And there will also be a gear check, so that's why I'm getting all my gear ready. And some people asked about what gear I use for ultramarathons. So I thought I would show you all the things that I'm going to bring tomorrow. My wife is going to give me these things in a random order, so we'll discuss them one by one. Start with the shoes. I'm running on Topo Athletic Mountain Racer 3. These shoes are perfect for me. I like the stack height. They're protective enough but not too thick, because I don't like that on the trails because it's unstable. And I mainly use them because they have a foot-shaped toe box. That's what I like, especially for running more than 4 hours. You want to get some room for your toes. I really like these shoes. I have, I think, 200 kilometers on them. In the beginning I didn't like them, they were really stiff, but now they softened up. So yeah, I'm enjoying these shoes. I'm going to use them tomorrow. They have really good grip as well. Then we have, how do you call this, a buff, I guess. You can throw it around your neck but also make a beanie out of it. I don't really use this, but it's just because it's on the mandatory gear list. Then we got some shorts. These are just from the North Face, not very exciting. Then I use shirts from Marmot or Marmot. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but they're called Wind Ridge. I once saw these on a YouTuber called Dan Whitehead. He was making videos about trail running, and he said the fit was amazing on these shirts. So I tried them out, and indeed they are amazing, so I always use these shirts. Then we got some thermal clothing. These are some thermal pants. Not really planned to use these, but it's also for the mandatory gear list. So we got the long sleeve thermal as well. Then we got a mid layer. It's probably also going to be too hot for this one, but just in case, it's nice to have a long sleeve. Then I have a waterproof jacket. This one is from Under Armour. I basically searched for the cheapest one which meets the requirements, because I don't really use waterproof jackets because I think they're overrated. The brands always advertise them as being breathable, but that's not really possible. So it will get really hot in there if you use it. So unless it's freezing, I won't use this. But yeah, I have to carry it with me. We got the race vest from Salomon. This is the Advanced Skin 12. This has enough room for all the stuff. Yeah, I really like this. The fit is great and it's just good material. So I always use this on my long runs. Some nutrition I'm going to take is Martin drink mix. Basically because I don't get sick of the taste and I know it works for me. And it's just really convenient to use one per hour or something like that. Then we have a survival bag. Just mandatory gear list stuff. Then an important item is my watch. I have the Garmin Fenix 7, the most expensive edition. It was quite an investment, but it was worth it. I absolutely love this thing. It's just a great watch to wear in everyday life as well, and the functionality is great. So these are some soft flasks from Salomon to go into the vest. So 2 in the front, but I'm taking 4 because I have to be able to carry 2 liters of water. So 4 times 500 milliliters. And a headlamp because it starts early in the morning when it's still dark. Socks, this is also quite a specific item. They are like these toe socks. In combination with the foot-shaped toe box, it's great because you have a lot of room for your toes to splay. Especially after a couple of hours, that's really nice. Then we got some gloves. Probably it will be too hot for them, but it's also on the mandatory gear list. And then last but not least, my running hat. I always have to wear my running hat. I don't know why, I just like it. And when the sun comes out, it's pretty convenient as well. So just listen to the race briefing. Got my number as well. So it's going to be a slow race tomorrow. It starts at 6 AM in the dark. And then it's a lot of climbing and a lot of descending before we reach the finish. Almost 10k into the race. I already fell. Somehow there always has to be some blood involved when I do ultras. Also fell on my knee a little bit, but it's not too bad, so just going to continue. Finally starting to get light, 12k in. I'm leading the race actually. That was not specifically my plan, but just doing my thing. Right now I'm the first one going up the mountain. So the race director didn't lie when he said it was steep. "15k in, I am a little bit worried about my knee. Uphill is fine, but when I go downhill I can feel it a little bit. It's not painful, but just a little bit worried that it will evolve into something that is painful, but yeah, there's only one way to find out. Still feeling strong though. This is the slowest part of the course. There's not really a track actually, I'm just walking alongside a fence, just following it to the top. Almost on 30k, I'm on the downhill section. Someone passed me on the downhill because I suck at downhills. So yeah, I'm in second place trying to hold that. But I wasn't really going for the podium, so I'm already happy with being in this position right now. So let's try to keep it up. Almost reached marathon distance. Just did a really long downhill. My knee was okay, but I couldn't go as fast as I wanted, but it didn't hurt that much. So now it's one more loop. The loop of deception is what it's called. Because you're very close to the finish, but then you have to go out again and climb a hill. That's what I'm doing right now. So let's go for the last loop. A few hours after the race, brought some souvenirs with me, as you can see. So I fell after 7 kilometers, stumbled over a rock in the dark. It always happens to me, I don't know why, but I have to get used to it, I guess. Kind of gives me this warrior mentality, so it is kind of helpful during the race. But I also fell on my knee and it's a bit stiff, so I hope it won't take too long to recover. Sunday morning, out for a recovery jog, just taking it really easy. But in my experience, it helps to speed up the recovery process. Had a good night of sleep as well, so that helps. Yeah, about the race, it was a whole new experience for me. It was super technical terrain. From my perspective, I'm from the Netherlands and it's not the most technical terrain out there, so it's good to have these experiences. I have a lot to learn, especially on the downhills. I was actually leading the race for the first 23K, but then there was a downhill section and someone caught up with me. Later he said he was a local, so I guess it makes sense. He's kind of used to it more than me. So I could hold second place until the end. So really happy with that. But above all, it was just a good experience, a good effort. So we ran 51K in about 6 hours with 2,600 meters of elevation. So pretty big training session. Good preparation for the UTA 100. Yeah, next week, final week in New Zealand. Then I'm heading back to Australia. So I'm not sure how much I will run next week. Depends on how my body is recovering, so we will see. This week was a pretty big week. We'll end up with 170K, almost 4,000 meters of elevation gain. So I'm happy with how things are going. My body is dealing quite well with all the stress. I'm putting it through. So I'm happy with that. Let's continue next week.